Welcome to PrepsNet Coach Speak with McAdory Yellow Jackets head football coach Aryvia Holmes. Powered by CM Gridiron. Here's your host, Aubrey Johnson.
We're back on the campus of McAdory High School. Coach, welcome back to the show.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for being here again.
Absolutely. So you had a fantastic game against Northridge. You took them down 34-7. Sounds like the offense and the defense was clicking. Tell us about the game.
Yeah, the offense came out and, we really on the offense side of the ball did what we need to do to be successful and win the game. It's
Right.
rainy on Friday and, one of those type of games where you're not going to throw it around a whole lot. So
Right.
we had to line up and be physical and run the football. And
Right.
the kids did a really good job with that. Kawan Johnson had another big game. Quarterback made the throws that he needed to make. So I was super, super proud of those guys on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, we challenged them all week.
Right.
The guys are going to be big up front. They're going to try to manhandle you a little bit. So schematically, we had to change some things up the way we normally do it to try to slow down what they're good at. And Coach Howard, Jonathan Howard, man, my defensive coordinator, he did a tremendous job getting the kids ready and having them prepared. So I'm super excited about kind of where we're headed.
Okay. So going back to the defensive part, you mentioned a couple of players on offense. Tell us who stood out on defense.
Defensively, man, it was a collective kind of, win.
Everybody showed up.
Everybody showed up. Zaylen Coates,
Good.
our defensive end, and he had a really good game against Pleasant Grove, and he had a really good game against Northridge. We had several guys get in on some sacks and some turnovers.
Nice.
Brandon Hurd had an interception. So a lot of guys on the defense side of the ball contributed. And we knew it was going to be that type of ball game. Everybody's going to have to show up and play fast and stay around the football.
Right. Gotcha. So as always, we talk about injuries. How did you fare in the injury department?
Thank goodness we came out good.
Good.
We was talking the other day in our coaching meeting about, how the beginning of the year has been tough on us. We've had some guys banged up and, playing the teams that we've played so far, everybody's been physical and Pleasant Grove was super athletic. So, we've had some nicks and bruises. Thankfully, we came out of that game. Nobody was cramping.
Good.
Nobody really got injured. So we're sitting good right now.
Okay, great. So you've got to switch gears all of a sudden. You feel good about where you've been, but now all of a sudden you got to get ready. You've got Gadsden City coming to town this Friday. They're riding pretty high. They're 2-1. They had a big win this past Friday against Buckhorn. Mm-hmm. Tell us what you think you'll see from them.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who made this schedule. I think I did, but those guys are always good.
Yes.
They're always talented. They have several guys playing Division I football every single year.
Right.
They're really good up front on both sides of the ball. Quarterback is really talented. Running back is probably the best we've seen so far. So we're going to have to play a perfect game. We're going to have to be good on both sides of the ball, on special teams, making sure, we're not kicking it to the wrong guys. And, there's so much that goes into winning and losing a football game.
Right.
But they prepare well. They're well coached. They got, good defensive linemen, good offensive linemen. So it's going to be a challenge. I think we're at the point now with our team, it's the fourth game of the season. I pretty much know what type of football team we have.
You know what you got.
Yeah, and they're competitive. I told them Sunday they're playing the number 7 team in 6A. So if you can't get up for that, I don't know what you can get up for. So
they're up for the challenge.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Well, good. Well, Coach, that's the show. But stay tuned. We've got a special edition of Coach Speak coming up right after this break. Listen to this message from CM Gridiron.
PrepsNet Coach Speak is powered by CM Gridiron. CM Gridiron is your home of fan-focused Alabama high school football. From our weekly interactive Team of the Week and offensive and defensive fan-selected player of the week polls to the Alabama High School Stadium Tour, player profiles, Coach of the Week features, and live in-game scoreboards, CM Gridiron is the largest fan-driven digital platform in the state of Alabama. Your team, your voice, your vote, your game. CM Gridiron.
And we're back. So we have a special guest with us today. Amber Brown is the cheer coach for the Yellow Jackets.
Yes,
Welcome
sir.
in, Amber.
Thank you. Thank you, Aubrey, for having me.
Absolutely. We're excited to have you here. Had a few questions for you because
Absolutely.
we really don't know that much about cheerleading, and we're hoping you can provide the answers.
I hope I can.
Okay, so first of all, how long have you been a cheer coach and also here as cheer coach?
So overall, I've been a cheer coach for 5 years.
Okay.
I have been at McAdory for 3, and then
All
I
right.
was a cheer coach for 2 years at my previous school.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So how do you prepare the girls to be at their best come game time?
Well, I think with anything in life and especially in sports, I mean, repetition is key to
Right.
success in general. It's something that we definitely try to instill with the girls. I mean, we start right after practice, right after tryouts, which a lot of people don't know, is the cheer season actually is all year long. We don't have an off season.
Okay.
So between the end of basketball to our tryouts is 3 weeks, and then
Okay.
we start practice 3 weeks after tryouts. So we start back in April, learning cheers, learning stunts, building stunt groups. So we've been at this for about 4 months before our first game. And still every year on our first game, we have a little, hiccups. Girls are not,
Right.
used to being out there, but really, really instilling that repetition, knowing things, like they should know body movement without even having to think about it, right?
Yes.
Muscle
Yes.
memory is key in cheerleading, as
Right.
with other things in life, especially a lot of sports, but that muscle memory is really important. So just instilling that confidence, repetition, every practice.
Right. So y'all really have a very long season.
We
don't you?
do. We absolutely
imagine
do.
if the football players played that long. I think they'd probably, keel over at some point. Also, I wanted to ask, you have, in addition to cheer coaching here, there's also cheer competitions, aren't there?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about how that works.
So competition season, now we do the Jefferson County competition every year.
Right.
And then there are a few other competitions, like Birmingham has a Magic City competition. That one's a little year to year, just depending upon where our girls are that year, if they feel
Right.
confident, if we as a coach feel confident enough to put them in that competition.
Right.
I think it's really important from a coaching standpoint to know your players and to know your girls and know their skill levels and not throw them into something they're not quite ready for.
Right.
But we do the Jefferson County one every single year. And then, like I said, the other competitions from there is just kind of from year to year, just to figuring out where the girls are at.
Now, roughly, how many teams are in that Jefferson County competition?
The Jefferson County competition is supposed to be every school in Jefferson County
wow.
competes in this competition.
Okay.
Yes. So so they split it up, JV and varsity, and then within varsity, it's large varsity and small varsity divisions.
Right.
We are a smaller varsity. We have 13 girls.
Okay.
And typically small varsity is broken up from 15 or below or 15 more girls.
Okay, gotcha. So what can you tell us about cheerleading that maybe at least us guys and maybe part of the audience doesn't know about it?
Well, actually, that first thing I mentioned earlier is that a lot of people do not realize how long the cheer season is. I mean,
bet.
as a cheer coach, I truly do not get a break all year long.
Right.
Seriously, my only break is that little few weeks between the end of basketball season and the start of tryouts.
Right.
So that's one thing I really wish people understood is it's not just football. Football and basketball overlap. So
Yes, they
we
do.
go straight in from basketball into straight from football into basketball.
Right.
And then basketball is like 2 to 3 nights a week.
Wow.
And we're cheering for girls and boys. So we're up at school on any given Tuesday night till 10:30.
Wow.
Till games are or 10, really like 10 till the games are over. And that's multiple times a week. And then
Yes.
that goes through February. Here's hoping if we make playoffs. And then our tryouts are the second week of March. And then we start practice about 2 weeks after tryouts.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, and then just in general, the time commitment. And then a lot of people don't realize cheerleading actually has a high percentage of high school injuries. And
Wow.
not to say that it should deter people away from cheerleading. It's
Right.
a great sport. But I think people don't realize how much risk comes involved and how quickly things can go wrong without
Yes.
instilling those specific drills and making sure everything's correctly done.
Right.
Because things can go bad pretty quickly if everybody's not prepared.
Right. So everybody's got to be on the same page, don't they?
Every member of that stunt group, I mean, the bases, your flyer, your back spot, your front spot, every part of a stunt group has to be in sync for that stunt to work and to go up. And like I said, it can go bad very quickly, especially for your flyers. They're falling from about 7-8 feet up in the air if something doesn't work out.
Yeah. So could be bad.
It can get scary.
A little dicey.
A little dicey if everybody's not doing their jobs properly.
Yeah. But it sounds like a fun thing to do for the girls.
It is very fun. I think that's another thing that was my goal coming in 3 years ago, was just instilling the love for cheerleading again, because so many people, especially when competitions get involved, I think the heart and soul of cheerleading is, Friday night football games. The excitement, the experience, just the atmosphere. And you have to love being a cheerleader.
Right.
Even if you're maybe not the most outgoing person, you've got to fake it. It's the second you put that uniform on. You've got to smile, you're happy. It does not matter if those boys are down 4-0. You have got to keep the crowd going. And I really wanted the girls to love cheering.
Right.
Not just loving the competitive side of it, which is great.
Right.
But love putting that uniform on, getting out there, supporting the boys, leading the students, getting everybody involved, really excited. Because at the end of the day, that is the heart and soul of being a cheerleader.
Yes, it is.
So.
Well, that's a perfect ending, Coach.
Yeah.
Coach Brown, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks to Coach Holmes, and thank you for watching. Join us again next week for another McAdory version of Coach Speak.